Comrades, I am Admiral Andre, and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program once again. Today I am going to be going back to our Apollo Saturn V build, I guess, and we're going to be taking that a little bit further. Now, someone has already asked on my last video, when is Mir coming back? And that will definitely be the next Kerbal video. I think the next video I'll record is probably going to be a real politics one. That one is very overdue, but then we'll get back to the Mir station. Now, on that front also, I have replaced the Kvant 1 module with a new one with the solar panels. We'll just have to send up another Soyuz because the Soyuz was attached to the Kvant, so I undocked it thinking it was the Progress, but then it was not, so I just sent Jeb over in a spacewalk to get into the Soyuz and deorbit it, so we have Kerbals on the station now with no return vehicle, which is not good. However, first of all, I want us to have a look at placing some kind of a base on the moon, just because we don't have such a thing in this save. And I was thinking, you know, it makes for some variety. That's why I do some other things in between and we don't just have the Mir space station. But we will get back to that very soon. So, yes, the thing is, after the Apollo landings, there was a plan, of course, to continue with the Apollo Applications Program. And the Apollo Venus flyby was a part of that. But there was also, now I just have to get the name here, I'm just exiting out of Kerbal for a moment. What was this thing called? The LESA, Lunar Exploration System for Apollo. And they had a, let's just have a look. There was a shelter is what they call it, but basically it is a moon base, essentially, for longer term stays. I just want to see if they're saying anything about it here. The LESA approach with a cargo lander followed by 2 manned landings in sequence to the same shelter and rover, so we also have to land a rover there, but we'll do that later, would allow 542 man days on the moon. ALSS development would cost around 500 million and LESA cost 1.45 billion. Now, the inspiration for this vehicle, I'll show you a little bit of the site that I saw, the image basically that I'm building our cargo lander around. That is one of the very few images that I could find of this LESA cargo lander setup business. But I think it's something we can run with. So on this we will not have a lander or the Apollo CSM. It will just be the landing cargo base setup thing. And then we will follow it up with the crew and with the rover as well. So at least this will give us some infrastructure on the moon. However, before we get to that, since we have not landed on the moon in this particular save, I want us to scout out a good location for the base, as you would do in real life. I assume they wouldn't just go and land, they would first send something like a surveyor lander to have a look and see if it's a good site. Now, I'm not going to build the surveyor here, that's something probably for our historical playthrough, which has also been very neglected lately, but still ongoing. So in this case, I'm just going to build a very simple lander and then use an Atlas Centaur configuration to send it to the moon, which is also something that somebody asked for. Now, my Atlas here is a very poor one because getting the engines to fall off and all of that is, of course, not easy. So there is, I think, no perfect answer to that, but at least the engines fall off in my version. So let's go to the VAB and just build a very quick lander. It's just a beacon for us, and then we can send the LESA lander to the moon. So let's have a look. Of course, here we're using the American flag again. Now, this only has to be something very small. So let's take a Probodobodine hex with, I don't know, something like an Oscar fuel tank. This is a very, very minor lander here. We could even use one of the ants. Let's see, I rarely use them. This gives us, geez, over 2.5 kilometers of delta V. Of course, it's got no payload. It is the payload. Now, the Atlas Centaur thing that I've tested can take much more than this. It can take a few tons. I think maybe up to 2 tons. But we don't need that. This is all that we really need. So let's put an antenna on the top. This is going to be our beacon to tell the lander, which will not have a crew on board, of course, an automated lander, to home in on this position. So maybe we'll just put some small landing legs on this. The real thing that I was also thinking of doing was, this is something that I saw on a comment to Matt Lowndes, one of his videos. Somebody was asking for a base that was hanging from the moon arch, but the grabber claw thing doesn't actually attach to that, so that idea went out the window very fast. So that's why I thought, no, let's go back to the Apollo applications program, since we already started on that route. Now, this is these legs are oversized for this vehicle, but that's alright. Let's just get some panels in here. Maybe the Octo would actually be a better option. Yes, let's try the Octo. I think the Octo is cheaper anyway. Yes, a little bit, but of course in Sandbox cost is irrelevant. Now, in this case we can put solar panels just in a 4-time configuration, and then the legs in another 4-time configuration. So I'll just move this in a little. This one doesn't have to look too good. We can pretend to recover it later by either just sending it up and smashing it down again. Maybe that's what I'll do. But first we just need the beacon. Now that's it. I think we don't need anything else here. We do have a little bit of reaction system, maybe a battery though. That's always a good thing. So let's see, take this off, put the battery on, a very small basic thing, and just that. There we go again. Now let me just move this down a bit. It doesn't look too good there. Just so it attaches more like that. So I don't know what we will call this thing. Probably Surveyor. I don't know. How far did they get with the Surveyor program? Let's call this Surveyor 10. I don't know. Or X. That's even better. Surveyor X. C. Okay, well, misclicked there, but this will be Surveyor C. So save this thing, and now I already have the Atlas Centaur, which again I have to say is a poor version of the thing, but it is at least a version. Don't save this. Pick the, there's our cargo container lander thing, Atlas Centaur. So merge this, and I have a different thing here. That's the grabber claw that I tested on the moon arch before I found out that that is a bad idea. It doesn't work, and that's it. So let's just reset the fairing here. Now, in this case, we don't need a craft like this to take a small probe to the moon, but it's something I have anyway. Now, this, again, it's a terrible thing. Doesn't look like the real thing, but I'm still experimenting with different ways of detaching the outer engines. So, for a test version, this will have to do. So a prototype, we can say. Now I hide the fairing inside the tank because I don't want another big section up there. So we just must not delete it, we must only edit it. Otherwise I have to move things around again. So we will just say there and there, that's it. The staging should be more or less right. I might just use a few struts in here again because it's suspended in mid-air. Like that, so at least again it's plausible. Now comrades, I think that's it. So I'm going to speed up this launch. This is again just to find us a good target, so let's hope I find us a good one. I'll be doing the same thing that I did with our shuttle to the moon mission, and look for a place, a crater that is somewhere around the edge of sort of the field of vision of Kerbal. So Kerbal must hang low in the sky. I like that the most. If it's very high up in the sky, we can never see it properly. You always have to twist the camera upward. But if it's there on the horizon, that's really a nice thing. So in this case, save again and take it out and launch. Let's do a proper countdown anyway. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Comrades, we've made it to the orbit of the moon, and this Centaur I'm really happy with. Unlike the Atlas itself, that separation was actually really good of those engines on the Atlas, but I think it can still stand some tweaking there. But the Centaur, that thing I'm more happy with. So I've used a heat shield here on the top just to simulate that round edge of the top of the tank. The bottom also has a very round shape there, but in this case I've just used one of these fuel tank adapters and another FLA5 adapter. And then of course we have these tanks here for the RCS, and this is of course a Titan Bobcat engine, but down rated to about 60%. So it packs quite a wallop here. As you saw, we almost pushed 5 Gs. But now it's time to pick the landing site. So we have two choices, of course, just like with the shuttle landing. We could land somewhere here or somewhere here. Now the one site was preferred for some reason. Now I have to think again. So during the Munar night, I want Kerbal to have like a full, how can I say, not a full moon, but a full Kerbal in the sky, basically. Now, I think if we go on this side, and this side is in the darkness, then the light will be coming from this side, so it will light it up. But on this side, if it's dark here, now you see, It's almost dark here on the edge, and look at Kerbal. It's basically dark as well. That's not going to be good. So I think this is the side we have to pick. Now we can't go too close to the exact edge of the orbit there where this line intersects the moon. It has to be somewhere around here in one of these secondary craters. So I'll play around with this, comrades. Maybe one of these. There's a nice collection here. It looks like a big crater, a smaller one, and another smaller one inside. Now I'm wondering if these are always different in different games, because obviously the big craters are always the same, but I've read somewhere that there is some kind of procedural element to the generation of these craters with every save game. I'm not sure if that's true, but well, maybe. There's another thing I sent to the moon a while back. That's of course the N1L3. And there's another thing, the Rigel lander. This was just a test of mine. Nothing based in reality there. So I'll do the landing, I'll save, and if it's not good, we'll pick somewhere else. So see you in a minute, comrades. Okay, we're here, but I'm not happy. No, this will not do. Part of the appeal of a crater like this with a planet hanging there is that it must have an impressive cliff here. Like you can remember we had with the Apollo, the landing that we had before with the Saturn V. That was near the Neil Armstrong Memorial. That had some really magnificent cliffs, but I also think that's because of the stock visual terrain mod, which I don't have anymore. I should actually see if it's been updated, but I saw this crater here. I wonder if these cliffs would be a bit more impressive. Probably not. But it has to be relatively close to the equator. I think this could do for a first landing. Let's do that then. Just a bit further back. I want to see the full planet hanging there. Maybe over these jagged cliffs. That could do. Let's do that. Still not. We can't see the full planet, but I think this is the right place. Because during the day, Kerbal is not going to be particularly visible, but during the night it will be, which is exactly the point, so that we're never left in complete darkness here. I think it might be worth jumping over to the next crater to see there is another sort of shelf we could possibly land on. Now that would be towards the east here and the north. I'll try, comrades. Okay, I think this will be our crater. Now this one is a lot less even than the other one, but possibly we could land right there. So we of course don't want this beacon to be exactly at our landing site. But there we can see Kerbal, and there's a lot of interesting places to explore with a rover nearby. So especially that crater then there and all the smaller ones around here. So let's take this one. We'll pick a name for this. Maybe you can suggest one in the comments. A name for this crater. And let's go back to Kerbal and launch our base. Oh, this thing is behaving a bit weird. It's because it's on the slope here. Well, it's moving slightly though. Well, it settles if I time warp. So, okay, let's go back to Kerbal. Comrades, here is the Saturn V that we built together. And there on the top is the lander. Now I will insert right here an image for you of the lander that I saw on the internet. So you can compare. Now of course it's not going to look the same here, but at least it gives us something. Now I'm using a 3-meter diameter part here on the top, and on the bottom here I'm using a 2.5-meter tank, but also panels on the outside to make it a little wider, like you can see in the image. However, of course it didn't have these panels, but of course again it never really existed in real life, it was only planned. I also put lights here, so there's a little strip of a light sticking out there. Then of course we have our door coming out here, and then these guardrail things here just so that the Kerbals don't fall off, and then the ladder down. So that's why I put it down here instead of higher up like in the picture, because the ladder must still reach the ground. Then on the other side, of course, we have to show the flag. Comrades, how could we do it any other way? So there is the antenna on the top and some solar panels. Now I'm not sure what the real thing would have used, but our version can use solar panels because we do not want a radioactive source near the Kerbals. So no RTGs here yet. Now let's look inside. Now inside of course there's a lot of clipping going on, but the tank here is of course empty. No fuel there. Wrong thing. Just find the tank here. There, it's empty. So the actual habitation part is going to be a hitchhiker storage container, which will of course mean that we can't look out. There's no windows here, but this was a very early plan for a moon base. I couldn't see any in that picture either. But anyway, so of course we're using a Terrier engine, and this thing can actually do the orbital insertion around the moon and the landing. So of course we'll use the upper stage here, the S4B, as much as possible. I'm wondering if we should add some extra fuel here. Just for the sake of it, we'll add a little bit of extra fuel. Now, I think everything else is still the same, but why on earth are we getting an 8.7 thrust to weight ratio? I think this thing is flawed, this engine here, because we saw that with the South African rockets anyway. It was below 1, but it still took off, so obviously it wasn't quite accurate. But yes, that's it. So it's going to be a very simple thing. Of course, we have a probe core in here. We do have some RCS as well, not too much, and then some thruster blocks on the outside, the Apollo kind, which is very appropriate since this is a post-Apollo, or a later Apollo mission. And yes, that's it. It's a very basic thing, but at least it will give our Kerbals a foothold on the moon, and I wish we did this in real life, but there we are. I guess you can't always get what you want. So let's go, comrades. So, someone has snuck on board again. We have a stowaway. Also, the sun is just getting the top of the rocket. I think it's too auspicious to kick poor Jebediah out. He wants to go back to space. He was, of course, on the Mir, but came down with a Soyuz. So, we're not going to kick him out. We'll go and retrieve him again later. Actually, I'm interested to see how the shadow moves here. We should see it. Okay, it just vanished. Should have been moving up there, but anyway. It's sunset, comrades, so I will do the countdown again. Let's hope it does not blow up, because we do not have an escape system or a backup thing here. So if it blows up, Jebediah is not coming home. That's the risk of being a stowaway. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Whoa! Crikey, that's terrible. Okay, never mind. Let's see if we can recover this thing. Obviously, those fairings were never designed to separate in an atmosphere. Whoops. Well, that stage was almost out of fuel anyway. Well, a lucky escape, comrades. We're in orbit. It's a low orbit, but it's sufficient. So, actually F5 at this point. That extra fuel on the upper stage was a very lucky thing, I have to say. So, yes. First, though, I want to test if the Kerbals can actually get in and out of this hatch. It would be a real shame if the thing is blocked because of these I-beams now. Oh, thank goodness. Okay, now it works. That was not tested before, so another lucky escape. So, I'll plan the thing out and I will see you on the moon, comrades. Just enough fuel. Good grief. 160 left. That's it. Well, I'm wondering, is it worthwhile to dump the thing? Where are we? Oh, collision course. We're going the wrong way, I think. Let's go retrograde. Actually, let's smash it into the moon. We don't need it anymore. We will just continue the burn, of course, to actually not smash into the moon. Do we need to prograde or retrograde? I think it's retrograde. Not that much. Only 11 meters makes all the difference. I think it's retro, yes, but now we have to be careful not to smash into that thing, so let's burn radial out first. Just a very little bit of monopropellant. Does that make a difference? Nope. Retro. Which is good because we need the panels to point to the sun anyway. So now let's see what we can do here. There, stop. 23 kilometers, perfect. So I will see you there, comrades. We're slowing down too quickly here, so we're going to be landing in the wrong place. Well, I'm sure we can still have enough fuel to hop back over to the lander there, the beacon. Well, it's just our thrust to weight is too low, and I waited too long. Ah well, at least we have lights on this thing. I see we're getting rather low, so let's just point towards the retro. Oh, we're gonna have an impact. Reload. Let's hope I can save the thing. Yes, I think now we'll be okay. So again, there's the virtue of saving regularly. Yes, we're just gonna have a bit of trouble seeing exactly where a level landing spot is. Now I have to keep an eye on this estimated burn thing here. So, let's go retrograde. So 66 seconds for the burn, but of course it's never exactly that, because the more you burn, the more you slow down. But the impact, that's the big thing. So the lights are on, we'll see something. I do want the door to point towards Kerbal, so that when the Kerbals step outside, that's the first thing they see, home, since we don't have any windows. Maybe a good thing. I don't know if it will help for radiation, but okay, we should be burning already instead of talking. But you see our estimated burn is dropping. It's catching up to the impact, so I think we'll be okay. We just want to make sure our landing site is still looking good here. We will probably have to fast forward to the day, but I think we did choose the wrong site, because Kerbal is still immersed. I want to say enmeshed, but then I want to say immersed, so I mix the words. It's still immersed mostly in darkness here, so it will just be a crescent Kerbal that we'll see until just before sunrise, but that's also okay. We can eventually put a Russian base on the other side, you know. So while the Soviets are busy building Mir, the Americans are busy pursuing the Apollo applications project and the LESA thing. So yes, that keeps a bit of balance. And the South Africans are trying to get into space. So let's see. So difficult to see here. At least we're mostly pointing down now. Let's just get rid of most of the speed and then sort of control it a little bit. We still have more than enough delta V, about 6 minutes at the current rate, which is about 50%. But now, are we going to land on a slope? I do have this inclination meter showing us that on the Kerbal Engineer. So at the moment it's going to be... No, but inclination here is not inclination of the terrain. It does have that feature though. Maybe I should enable it quickly. Where are we? Good grief, got to keep my mind on a lot of things here. So I want the surface and I want... Which one? Slope. Install. There, 8.9 degrees. That's terrible. This is not where we want to land. So, no, we will be burning a little closer to the probe there. We can hover here for a long time, 5 minutes still. Our speed is relatively stable at the moment. I just wish we could see a bit more. It's so dark here. Ah well. We'll just keep hovering here. Jeb is super happy and he's the best Kerbal for the job anyway. So slope is now 5 degrees beneath us. We will assume we have some kind of radar, since we do anyway have a little radar altimeter here. I assume it will also tell us the slope. 15 degrees, no, that's madness. Well, as long as we have a stable resting spot until dawn, then we can readjust again. So how long? 24 seconds to impact. So let's just keep it 15 degrees still. Where the heck are we? I think we're over the slope now. We should probably try and get closer to the probe there. $15 degrees still. Yes, it's definitely that slope. The cliff. Okay, hold on, I'm losing my track here. Let's try and keep getting closer. It's still staying very high. I don't want that. 14 degrees. Maybe it's just like that all over here as we saw. Well, okay, just point us down and get some kind of control of the situation, and at this rate we'll still have 5.5 minutes again, so not a problem. Now which way do we need to point? I see the cliff around us. I think it's this way. 6 meters is too fast. 5 seconds. Still don't see the ground. 4. Okay, just keep it steady. Keep it steady. 3 seconds. There it is. Cut the engine. Don't flip. Don't flip. RCS. Okay, stop all movement. We are resting on a very precarious spot here. I'll F5 this because we can still fix it. Let's just get to the dawn. Where's Kerbal? We can't even see it from here. Oh, it's that? No, where? Oh, I think we're on the opposites. No, we're close to where that thing is. I think right behind us is another crater. Anyway, let's continue. So you see, the longer the night lasts, the more Kerbal appears to comfort us in the sky. So this is a good sight. We even see the shadow there. Yes, so I'm happy with this side. Let's just see. Yes, there's the other crater. Okay, now at least we can see what we're doing here. Now the door is not pointing the right way either, so F5 again. Okay, tense situation. Let's see what I can achieve here. I'm going to use RCS as well. And just take us up very gently. Don't want to pick up too much speed here. Now roll us, please. And which way are we going now? I don't know, this is not really the way to do it. South, we want to go south. There, burn it. Somewhere here, I think. Hopefully in this hollow here. Okay, we're on the right track. Now just flip us over relatively quickly. Still going up. Make sure our door is pointing in the right direction. 8 seconds burn, 12 seconds impact. Do it. Those panels are clipping like crazy. I just put so many of them there. But I assume when we stop moving it will be a little bit better. Okay, stop. We're going back up. Retro, please. Slope is 1.9 degrees beneath us. Let's just hope Kerbal is not touching the horizon there. I want to see the whole thing. Prepare for touchdown in 3, 2, 1. Lock. RCS off, SAS off. Yes, this clipping thing is unfortunately due to one of the mods. You see it's even happening on the capsule. I'm sure it's scatterer, but when I save and reload it will fix itself again. I think 1.9 degrees is probably the best we can get here, and Kerbal is just clear of the horizon. I just want it like that. Don't know why. So this is our site, comrades. The Americans have finally returned to the moon after Apollo, and we will of course resurrect the Apollo lander and the CSM to bring crew here again. Of course we have to keep one off because we need to have room for Jeb. Let me save and reload, and then I will say adieu to you. So F5 and reload just to clear all these glitches here. And we're just settling on the surface again, but you can clearly see all those flashes are gone now. So yes, 00, let's turn the engine off. We will not be using it again. Shut down engine, and we still have 348 meters per second left. Of course, now here I imagine they can tilt the dish there. It's pointing towards the Rigel lander. Yes, well, it was an experiment. Let's just see, there's no planets up here right now. There's Eve. Oh well. So, Jeb, are you ready to have a look at our new home here? Extend the ladder. Turn on all lights. They were off there. Then, since it's still very early in the morning, we can't even see the sun yet. It's only on the cliffs there. So, EVA. And let go. Turn around here very carefully, please. Settle down. Let's see, can I can't see through him now. Disactivate camera, maybe it's that. I'll just F5 again. Yes, there, I think this is due to that hull cam mod, where you can see through their eyes basically. Take the interface away, and there we are on the moon, comrades. So this is excellent. It's just right there in full view, so absolutely reassuring in case our Kerbals ever get homesick. Now I don't know how to exit this view. That's my only problem now. So I will say farewell, comrades. See you next time with another Mir episode. I think we are building Spectre next time. I think so. It's the one that the docking module attaches to. So, see you then. Thank you for watching, comrades, and for your support as always.